Take another look now and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Oh, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking Time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to Time for Hemp live all around the world. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're doing pre-records. I'm sorry. You are listening to Time for Hemp live stream all around the world on Tumblr, SoundCloud. And guess what? We are back on iTunes. Yay! iTunes finally got their heads out of their butts and said, oh, we will accept this app from a marijuana company, which is so weird. Because every time Time for Hemp applied to iTunes to have our app put into iTunes, they told us, no, we had too many marijuana leaf images on our app, and we were talking too much about marijuana on our app. But if you go to iTunes and look at all their apps, you will find at least 100 apps that talk about marijuana, where you can find it, how you can smoke it, twist it, grow it, burn it, you roll around naked in it, with titles like Find Marijuana in Your Neighborhood, Sell Little People That Are Underage Marijuana If You Want app. I mean, it's stupid. And here I had Time for Hemp, political commentary about the need to have industrial hemp, and iTunes said, ooh, it's focused too much on marijuana. So I took all the pictures out, gave it just text, images, and just said Time for Hemp's about industrial hemp and trying to end it in Congress. And guess what? They like no images. They like no content. And they approved it. So now when you go to iTunes, you can type in Time for Hemp, find the Time for Hemp app, and download it into your iSmart devices. Finally! Thank you, iTunes, for getting your heads out of your butt. It is Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we celebrate all the amazing people up in Canada who are working diligently to end prohibition all around the world. And we have as my joint host as often as possible, because sometimes he's off on holiday in Spain or Puerto Rico or some exotic land far, far away, rolling naked in marijuana leaves. KDK founder Kelly Kriston. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Casper. How you doing today?
Groovy. I've got to say, though, I've been to Canada, and just living in Canada must be like living in a holiday.
Well, yeah, why not? It's a great place to live, I guess. I mean, although there are a lot of great places to live in the world, it's the people are mostly nice, and we got 4 seasons. Other than that, we're not much different than anywhere else.
We got 4 seasons here. I have their entire CD collection. They're a great group. I love the guys. Anyway, also I've noticed that up in Canada, all the citizens there are caring and nice and courteous and loving and thoughtful. But your politicians have their heads up their ass. Are your politicians not of your population?
We often think they come from some other planet. No question there, but I think, again, we're very similar like that to the rest of the world. I think most politicians are like that.
Oh, well, yeah, we thought...
What country you're from.
Yeah, we thought that ours have been beamed down and are being used as aliens as a way of taking over the planet by doing stupid stuff. But... And I also know that you, as a joint host on the big broadcast, sometimes bring some of your joint friends to the joint broadcast. Want to remind people that anytime you hear the word joint on the joint show, 2.5 million people hit their pipes, their bongs, their vaporizers, and take Time for Hemp, and about 15 of those people usually pass out about halfway through the show. So with that said, I'm going to pass this joint conversation over to my joint host so he and our joint friend can have a wonderful joint chat while I work on this joint here in the joint at Time for Hemp. Kelly?
Thanks for that great interlude there. That was made me laugh and cough at the same time. Now I'm trying to get my throat back after that one. Anyhow, I'm sitting here. Most of you who listen to the program more than once probably heard me talk about where I live here in Calgary, Alberta, and how it's like being in an East Bloc country. When we look at our cousins to the west and we see tons of vapor lounges and dispensaries and all kinds of great edibles and goodies and machines to drop our money into and pull out great cannabis and all that kind of stuff. And here I live in Calgary in the same country, and there's nothing. There's no dispensary. There's no vapor lounge. Very, very little for the culture here, or for that matter, especially for the medical patient. No place to go. Absolutely nothing. It's insane. And we are lucky enough today to have Jeff from 420 Clinic here. Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Excellent. Thank you. And you brought someone else along with you as well?
Yes, I have Kalisa here with me from the.
Hi, Kalisa. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Kelly?
Excellent. Every day is a great day.
Excellent.
So anyhow, the 420 Clinic. I need to know more, of course, about what you do and that kind of stuff. But first of all, I want to ask you how do you get there? How do you be the first guy in Harperville to step out and put your balls on the line, shall we say, and check out the waters here in Calgary?
Well, we were quite pushy, let's just say. We didn't stop. It was quite the path to get here. There's no doubt about it. I believe they invented red tape for us. They licensed us 3 different ways in this location. It came to the point in time where the fire inspector got tired of walking in here. It's quite the challenge. We got the Community Association and the BRZ put up a roadblock also with an appeal on our license. So we had to go through a little mini trial, all kinds of things. So it was quite the path. It took us just about a year or so to get through all this red tape and finally open up. And they were very nice to grant us a 1-year permit. And as long as we're still operating the same business 1 year from now, they'll continue.
Cool. Now, do they have a business category for you, or did they create one?
No, they haven't created one yet. That's why we're probably licensed 3 different ways.
Right.
It became quite clear that they had no idea what the hell to do with us. And we've been trying to actively contact the city officials, mayors, councilors, and whatnot to develop a committee in order to help this type of process get along, because it was quite clear they had no clue what they were doing.
Right. New to them and don't know where to classify et cetera. Yeah.
They understand there's a future coming. They don't know how to deal with it, and they just basically were completely lost. And we've been trying to contact them and to help them, contacting everybody that I said before, and we've gotten no reply whatsoever.
Typical though of government, but again, like you say, they're in that gray zone or in a zone. They just don't know where to go and what to do, and nobody wants to make a mistake, and nobody wants to be responsible, and they just all run around and nothing happens.
Yeah, that's what it seems like for sure.
Cool. So, where are you located in Calgary?
We're located in Inglewood.
Okay.
So just outside of downtown, just off the Deerfoot.
So easy access location for buses, transit, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but we also have a mobile team, so if any patients aren't capable of traveling that are inside the city limits here and they're in wheelchair bound, that sort of stuff, because we do deal with medical patients, and we do have a mobile team that will go to their house.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about actually or tell us about what you really do or what you're offering down there for the medical patient.
Well, I'd say we're a one-stop shop for medical marijuana patients. So we basically help them through the entire process from beginning to end. We're a value-added
starting with helping them with their license, or
or working with their doctor with regards to that. A lot of doctors, we've noticed and more, are willing to sign the prescription. They just have no clue what to do with it after. So that avoids a lot of doctors from getting involved because they just have no clue about the process, and it's a lot of work afterwards. It's not as easy as just typing a script on their computer and it spits out and they go to Shoppers. So anything else on top of that, they're too busy. So we're kind of a value-added service for the doctors in this city where they're willing to sign the prescriptions. They send it to us. We will then target the strains needed for that patient and find the producer for them and set them up. So that seems to be working for, I'd say, up to close to about 20 doctors within Alberta right now that are prescribing and sending patients to us. So after that, if they don't have a doctor, they can't find a doctor, we will set them up with one that is willing to prescribe and get them through that process, and then and once again find the right producer for them. And then after that, we help them with whatever their issues are with chronic pain or what it is. We have vaporizers here. I'd say we're medical, so we don't look like a bong shop. We are an alternative health center. We do have we do have a massage therapist in here for chronic pain patients, that kind of stuff.
Excellent. So there are other services there besides just cannabis related, right. but that's your main focus, obviously, for 20
Yeah,
clinic.
We're an alternative health center, but our main focus is medical marijuana. But yeah, we'll do whatever we can to help the people.
Excellent. And wow, like you say, it's a tough process here in Alberta. Are you from in and around the area, or?
Well, I've been here for about 16 years or so now, and yeah, I'd say we probably picked the worst province to start this in. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Not only that, the College of Physicians here is really strict with what their doctors are allowed to do.
Okay.
And they put up a scare tactic more than anything to slow down the process for their doctors. They basically just threw a red light and threw it on the highway with no idea why they did it. And they've created a lot of kinks and problems. And when our doctor spoke at the last conference with regards to this, they didn't have any answers for a lot of doctors. They couldn't answer the question. And they said they're trying to work out the kinks. And then our doctor said, well, you guys invented these kinks, so what's your plan? And they have none.
Right. Wowzer.
Quite typical for Alberta.
Yes, no doubt. Like you say, I can just imagine how difficult the path has been. I'm sure there were roadblocks all along the way, and there probably still are. The community that you're in, how have they reacted? Your business neighbors and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'd say at first, depending on who you talk to, they were either okay with what we were doing, or they thought that we were going to bring in a bunch of degenerates and scare off all their customers. So I think now that we've been open for a couple months and they actually see what we're actually doing, thoughts have changed. But for the majority part of it, the community is behind us. There's no doubt about it. They walk in here all the time and walk around, take a look at the place and go, wow, this is really nice. And, oh, you have this and you have that. That's awesome. And it's been very good. The community's been very receptive for sure.
Well, I know that when I was part owner of a vapor lounge out east in Etobicoke, we had problems with the counselor in that particular ward, and so they had put a stop to any more vapor lounge licenses being issued, and wanted to check into it a little bit. So I did a little groundwork before our meeting with the city folk. And I went to all our neighbors and wanted to find out, and actually hoping to find, maybe some things that they found incorrect or they didn't like what was happening since we opened. Give us some direction in case we weren't doing anything properly. Most of the neighbors, of course, were for us because we were beside a convenience store for one, so their sales doubled or tripled after we opened, so they were pretty happy with us, and you can understand that. And then we did allow people to eat in the facility. So The restaurants in the area loved us because their delivery drivers were very frequent visitors to our lounge.
Nice.
So that was understandable. But what I was more concerned about was the barber and the realtor and the whomever and blah, 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 because it was nothing but businesses along a very major road in Etobicoke. And, when I went to those people, they had absolutely no complaints, and actually they were pretty happy. First of all, there's a telephone booth right in between our convenience store and the lounge. And at the time, some crack addicts were using the telephone there. And, of course, shortly after we opened, they didn't last long there. People in the lounge who smoked cigarettes, of course, would go outside and hang out front. And people were coming and going on a regular basis. And there was just too much action around that phone booth. So we actually moved them out of the area without having to try. It just happened.
Yeah.
And so they were happy about that. And one of the other big things they were happy about, one guy looked me in the face and he says, "You know what?" He says, "I no longer walk out the back of my business and see somebody, smoking a joint back there. They're over there. They're not in the park, across the street, whatever. They're in the lounge. They're out of the public." They're pretty happy about that as well. So nothing but good. Absolutely zero negative comments. And during our meeting with the city folk, Abby Roach, owner of Roachorama, at that time, and this is now a couple years ago, obviously, or 3 years ago, Abby had been open for just over 10 years. And not once in her 10-year history did she have a visit from the police for any reason, any kind of complaint. So, we were battle ready. It was just amazing that there was no negativity and actual plus stuff. Again, before we opened, I remember standing outside and we had 3 gals walk by and they were quite elderly. And so I said hello, of course, being Calgarian, and that's what you do. I don't know, you're standing there, so you say hello. Started a conversation with them and they asked about what we were doing. And one of them was definitely not happy. She says, "We already have too much drugs in the neighborhood." One was, quite all right with it. I think she may have been using it medicinally on the side, and the other 2 gals didn't know. And one gal that was sort of in between. And was several months later, I ran into them, and all 3 of them were very, very happy that we had opened. And I understand people being apprehensive in the beginning, but I'll tell you, it actually, when we opened, we improved the area and the quality of people that were hanging around, and we actually revitalized the area almost ourselves just by us opening there. The businesses in the area saw very much a tremendous increase in business, and it started to sort of revitalize the area, being a little bit run down and that kind of stuff. So, kudos to you. I'm assuming that the same is going to happen for you, where the people in the neighborhood are going to be happy to have you as a business there, employing people and helping medical patients through your clinic. I think it's awesome, and kudos to you, and thanks for being the first one, because now hopefully it opens the door to other things like vapor lounges or that type of stuff. It shows that we're moving forward right in the heart of Prime Minister's Harper country, where they're not too friendly to our industry.
No, they certainly aren't, and I think we're seeing the same thing. I think people are starting to turn around once they've, actually had a chance to see who we are, not their preconceptions of what we were going to be. Most of our patients are 50 plus with legitimate ailments, so they're not the degenerate drug addicts and criminals that they were expecting, I guess, to be loitering around their businesses. They're, usually well-to-do people, and like I said, most of our patient base is 50 plus, so I think what was expected and what we actually are 2 different things.
Well, what I are is running a little late for the commercial break. And so I are going to take a break right now and pay our bills and ask that everybody who's listening will go to our website and check out the sponsors that support the network and click on their banners and let them know that you found them here at Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. The only broadcasting network dedicated to ending the global war on drugs on iHeartRadio.
Are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
That first bag of green to the man, okay. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high. Feeling the breeze, looking at trees, watching for a pie in the sky. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high. Sat in the slow lane, watching it all go by. Well, since a hairy mister kissed my little sister, didn't get to school on time. Took her to the teacher, says I couldn't reach her, plays the music in her mind. Don't get to no classroom till 9:30. And she was cannabis high. She was cannabis high. Heard the tunes, sniffing the blues, beginning to wonder why. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high. Sat in the slow lane, watching it all go by. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high. She wasn't feeling the breeze. She wasn't looking at trees and watching for a pie in the sky. She was cannabis high. Well, she was cannabis high. Sat in the slow lane, watching the world go by. Well, Mr. Hoity-Toity drove his little doity on around to Byron Bay. Came across an sinned and hoity-toity ran away. Well, she got back home round noon on the following day, and she was cannabis high. She was cannabis high, living a dream out, rolling the green and gazing at the blue, blue sky. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high, sitting slowly and watching it all go by. Yeah, she was cannabis high. She was cannabis high, feeling the breeze, looking at the trees, beginning to wonder why. She was cannabis high. She was cannabis high, sitting slowly, watching the world go by. Yeah.
We are Cannabis High here at Time for Hemp. We encourage you to stay cannabis high. And everybody around the world knows how important it is to be cannabis high. We don't encourage you to be high at work, but we do encourage us to be cannabis high here at our job site. We do mandatory urine sampling here at Time for Hemp. And if your urine comes back negative for THC, we put you in a drug smoking class, teach you how to roll a joint, pack a bong, utilize a vaporizer. Then we test your urine again in 21 days, and if it comes back negative from THC again, we figure you're a DEA member and an asshole, and we don't want you working for us, and we will find somebody to replace you. With that said, I am going to bring to your attention the loving care and wonderful efforts of the KDK distributing team that Kelly Kriston and all of his hardworking members do for all the medical marijuana members. For those of you, anyway, who are on a low income and would like to be able to utilize medicinal marijuana in a very healthy and sane way, I'll hush up and let Kelly bring that information to you now.
You bet. We have for several years now been able to give away a quality vaporizer to a medical patient, and you can be located anywhere in the world. We can ship anywhere. So any of you that are listening that use cannabis on a medicinal level, and you're maybe on assisted income or disability pension or welfare or God knows, who knows, some of you don't even have any income at all. And those are the type of people we're looking to help out, of course. The program is 100% free, and it's super simple. All you have to do is send me an email to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and, we regularly, or I guess once a month, we go through and find a lucky medical patient somewhere in the world. Like you say, it can be anywhere where we're more than capable of shipping it to you wherever you may be, and we have in the past, many to Europe and even South America. So great to hear from you people out there. So I know that some of you are listening that could use a free vaporizer. And to those of you who are listening who can afford to buy one for themselves, you probably know somebody in the medical community that could greatly get good use out of a vaporizer. Not only is it going to be a little bit healthier for them to use, but once a person gets a quality vaporizer, they actually use and need less medication. They're not magical, they're just horrendously efficient. So this is a really, really huge plus, obviously, to these people, because it will also reduce their cost of their medicine. It'll be healthier for them. So it's kind of a double whammy, and the biggest part being the financial part. So we'd love to hear from you, and we would also really like it if you know somebody that could benefit to pass that information on. Again, super simple. Just send me an email to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. And we want to hear from all of you soon.
And on behalf of the medical marijuana movement, Kelly, thank you so much for your kind care and the loving efforts of you and your team. I know that many people have benefited from this generous offer, and we look forward to having many more people to also benefit from it as well. So, well, let's get back to our joint guest here on the Big Joint broadcast. I've got a joint in front of me that I need to work on. So, Kelly, I'll let you get back to your joint chat here at Time for Hemp.
Cool. So, Jeff, I'm just your average old kidder, in my 50s, or getting old, I guess. Maybe I'm starting to get some pain, that kind of stuff. Maybe I smoked cannabis probably when I went to high school or university, and then I got married and I had kids, and now all of a sudden I haven't smoked in a long time, and I know that cannabis works for pain, and I really don't know where to go or what to do. So I hear about you, and I come walking in your door. What can I expect?
I'm going to let Kalisa answer this question because she's the one that typically would deal with somebody just like yourself.
Perfect.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kalisa. My name's Kelly. I'm
Hi,
old.
Kelly.
I'm hurting. Can you help me?
Absolutely, we can try and help you for sure. So what we do is we would talk to you about is your doctor willing to prescribe? If your doctor's willing to prescribe, that's the best case scenario. We can help you.
So would you suggest that I ask my doctor before
I would suggest that you speak to your doctor. I would give you a medical document that we have here at the clinic, and speak to your doctor about it. If your doctor is not comfortable, maybe talk to him about prescribing for 3 months to try it out. We were also available to talk to your doctor about it if he needs any help with that. If that doesn't work, then we do have a Skype doctor that you can see. There's a process involved with that, so there's some documents we would need you to fill out, and we would need medical records from your doctor with proof of diagnosis and treatment. Once all that's done, then we would set you up with Dr. Kalyanuk, if that's the case, and schedule you an appointment and move forward.
Cool. So you would Skype with this doctor if I walked in there and
Yes.
this morning. When would I be Skyping with the doctor? Would I be Skyping with the doctor before I left, or?
No, you wouldn't. There's a bit of a process. So like I said, you would have to fill out the forms that we have here. Also, we need the medical records. So if you had those with you and you had everything completed today, then obviously things would move a little bit faster.
Right.
Booking times are generally about 2 to 3 weeks to book with a doctor.
Okay.
And that's once your file is completed.
Now, is there a cost involved with this?
There is with the Skype doctor, $200.
Okay, cool. Of course.
Yes.
If a doctor can sign for the patient within the city limits, then there's no cost for dealing with us at all.
Right.
Awesome.
And that's definitely the best case scenario if your doctor will sign. That's the quickest route for you to get your prescription.
Right.
And there's no cost involved, right?
Also, just as one of our issues with getting going, we're not allowed, according to our permit, to have a patient walk in and see a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
No
walk-ins.
No walk-ins are allowed. They have to book an appointment. That was part of our permit requirement. But, regardless, the system, the way it's set up, is you pretty much need to come in and start your paperwork, that kind of thing. But if we can work with your doctor, that is the best case scenario. The doctors are just unfamiliar, so we can help them with dosages and everything else.
Right, perfect.
Because generally not generally, but a lot of the times that's what the issue is the doctor's not sure of the dosage. So we're here to help educate the patient and the doctor as well if they need that as far as the dosages for whatever's going on with you.
Right, or at least a beginning point or starting point.
Yes, definitely.
The very first prescription we got in from a doctor, as an example, that patient was prescribed 100 grams a day.
Wow.
So they just don't understand the dosages. So I obviously couldn't allow that to get to the producer because they wouldn't accept it, but nor could the patient smoke that much in a day. So, we had to go get that fixed. But, that's an example of, some of the things that we can definitely help the doctors with.
Right. Now, what about patients that are maybe using concentrates and edibles or tinctures or that kind of stuff, and now they need a concentrate? And a lot of them, of course, they're going to require more cannabis to achieve.
Right. So we would talk about that while you were here, or if you had set up an appointment to come and see us, we would talk about that and how you're consuming it. If you plan on using it, eating, cooking, tincture, whatever you're going to use, and that would factor into your dosage as well.
Excellent, excellent. So now we've gone through the process. I got my doctor on board. It's really cool, and everything's good to go. Mm-hmm. Can you help me from that point and beyond?
Absolutely. We can help you find the right strain and the right producer. So if you're looking for a high CBD strain, we would find a producer that obviously produces that product for you.
Right.
We can recommend the producers that we're comfortable with and so forth.
Right. So there are, do you know how many licensed producers there are currently in the country? Are you...
Right now, there's about 25 of them. Not all of them are producing and able to sell. Some of them are just producing and aren't at the selling point because they're fairly new.
Right.
Some are in the construction side of it. The licensing process changed with Health Canada, where it used to be you had to be completely set up, your building, everything, ready for inspection. Then they come in and sign off, and then you can start growing. Now they've started a new process where you don't need to be built yet. You just need to have some of the parameters met, and then they give you a license, and then you can start your construction and the production. Then they come in again and do another inspection before you can sell anything. So we're kind of in the middle of both. So there are producers that are good to go, and some that just aren't. We deal with a select group of producers because we're familiar with them, their customer service, their product, what they have available for patients, that sort of stuff. There's new ones coming on board that we are in the process of dealing with, but there's about 25 right now, but like I said, not all of them are producing right now.
Right, so out of the 25, roughly how many are producing? Half, less than half?
I'd say half right now. There's one actually here in Alberta that started growing. They're probably not ready for product yet, as far as I know. And the ones that are producing, honestly, are doing a great job. They're making a great product. The ones we deal with are doing an amazing job for sure. And the technology behind it is unreal.
Right. And now what about other things? Do you offer or a venue where people can maybe get butter, cannabis butter, or tinctures or any of the other extracts?
No, but what we're going to be offering is we're going to offer cooking classes here at the clinic. We're going to start doing that maybe once or twice a month on a Saturday afternoon. We're also looking at offering having a cooking instructor come into your home. If you're not able to come in here, you're not comfortable with the whole thing, having them come in and help you cook with it or make candies, whatever you want to make with it.
Have little parties for the ladies, and our weed chef can come in and teach them how to make some brownies, and they can all have some fun.
As long as they don't eat too many brownies.
That's right. But in their own home, they go at it.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Is there going to be a cost associated with taking cooking lessons?
Not within the clinic itself here. It's going to be open to to the public for the number of seats we have available.
Right.
But any private at-home courses, of course, there will be some charge for it.
You bet.
Our weed chef, she's excellent. Vast amount of knowledge, and she makes some great
weed chef. Woo.
Or weed chef, yeah.
Weed chef. I'd like to have one of those.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think we should invest in a weed chef, Casper. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right, and I also think it's time for us to take another commercial break so that we can pay our bills, and then we're going to come back and pick up where we left off here at Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Serious Seeds is your source for quality cannabis and sativa seeds. Serious Seeds are the creators of legendary strains like AK-47, Bubblegum, Chronic, Cali Mist, and White Russian. The AK-47 is probably the most awarded strain on the planet. The high THC content of AK-47 makes it the perfect medical strain for patients seeking quick pain relief. Cali Mist is an almost pure sativa. Female medical cannabis patients have reported that this strain helps relieve menstrual cramps. Serious Seeds just acquired another Dutch high-quality seed bank, Magus Genetics. From now on, Serious Seeds can offer you even more award-winning strains. The fine folks at Serious Seeds strive to breed the best cannabis genetics that they can find, so patients can rely on the effectiveness of their medicine. Go to SeriousSeeds.com to grow your medicine. That site again is SeriousSeeds.com.
Well, now, chocolate cake makes my poor stomach ache, and all those pills are too much for me to take. I don't like cocaine, cause it makes me all uptight, but coffee and reefer makes me feel alright. Crystal meth will make you high.
Yeah, coffee and reefer, that's my cup of tea. Get it? Coffee and reefer, that's my cup of tea. And I would encourage you to get involved in the marijuana movement. First thing I do when I get up in the Kelly knows this, when I get up in the morning is get myself a big old cup of Joe. Then Joe gets dressed and goes to work, and I get me a cup of coffee and get myself a joint and get busy in front of the computer trying to make the world a better place. And I think you should, too, put one foot in front of the other and get out that door and let the whole world know that it really is time for hemp. Kelly, I'm going to let you and your joint conversation proceed. I'm proceeding on this joint here on the Big Joint broadcast, so I'm going to hush my joint face up.
You bet. I'm wondering about patients maybe who obviously don't live in Calgary, and so there's nothing, maybe they're Red Deer or something like that. Obviously, there's nothing there, and they weren't capable of making it here. Would it be possible for them to contact you and be able to Skype with the doctor and do it from afar, or do they physically have to come and see you?
No, we are dealing with patients all over Alberta and actually all over Canada right now. So we're able to help them for sure. We have patients, on a regular basis from Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Banff and Canmore, and Lethbridge, and Red Deer, and Ontario, and we're dealing with patients from all over. There's no problem with that.
So there's no boundary. You don't have to stick within Calgary or stick within Alberta.
It's a federally run program, so it's a federal thing. We can go province to province. That's not an issue.
Oh, cool. So how do these people find out about you then already from different parts of the country?
I'd say, to be honest, social media is the biggest part of it. There's no doubt about it. And we've had quite a bit of media coverage across Canada, being the first one in Alberta. So that's definitely helped with the awareness for definitely people within Alberta and as far out as Ontario. So the social media is probably our biggest aspect. There's no doubt about it.
Nice. Now, how long have you been operating?
This is about a month. We're just about hitting the end of 3 months now.
Yeah, right? We opened unofficially the second week in April, or third week in April.
Third week in April,
and then we officially opened
in May,
beginning of May. So
about 3 months now.
Excellent. And you find things are increasing as more awareness, and people who deal with you maybe recommend them to their friend.
It's almost
they like it. I tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so forth, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's almost a tidal wave of it just keeps growing for us. It's been great. I honestly, for all the pain and suffering we went through and doubts, and
totally worth it.
Completely worth it. We couldn't be more happy about being able to help people every single day. It's such a feel-good business, honestly. It's just great. It really is. It's just awesome. And people come in here and they like to chat, they like to talk. They leave happy. We have people leaving crying because they're so happy. It's great to help this many people, and the word's getting out. There's no doubt about it. And then we get a lot of patients from degenerate companies that are trying to operate similar stuff but screwing people over. So we get a lot of those people too, and we help them.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. So how can they get a hold of you here? You have a telephone number?
Yeah, they can reach us at 403-475-4205. They can Facebook 420 Clinic. Twitter. We're on Twitter. Anything, just Google 420 Clinic Calgary and that kind of stuff. Our email address works great. Contacting us at staff@420clinic.ca. They'll get a response.
Right. And now you don't actually sell anything there. I'm not going to walk in and find a vending machine I can pop my $50 into and get a quick top up on my prescription or anything like that.
No, we don't. We wish, yeah, but we don't have anything like that. We're not a dispensary in any way, shape, or form, and I'm hoping one day that they allow at least very most the medical marijuana dispensaries to become available, so that we can provide patients with little bits at a time rather than ordering the amounts that they have to right now, and they're able to try a little bit, and because even though you target the strain, you're still not sure exactly if that one's going to be the perfect one for you. So it would be great if patients can do that, and we're working towards that.
And also patients who are looking for immediate medication and having to wait and go through the process where it takes time to get your medication to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the time? Say if we got everything's all complete and I'm ready to get my first prescription filled, because you're dealing with different LPs or several LPs, what can be the time frame from when I place or ask for my prescription to be filled and I actually get it filled?
I guess it depends on the process. If your doctor signed it, it can happen relatively quickly. If we have to start the paperwork process and wait.
Yeah, I'm saying we're ready to go. Like, how long is it going to take?
If you're ready to go with your prescription signed from your doctor, it can take about a week. A week before we can order. So we'll say 2 weeks at best that you will get your prescription delivered to your home. Now, it could be a little bit shorter because what happens is once the licensed producer has your prescription, they then need to call that doctor and confirm that prescription was signed. So sometimes that's a bit of a holdup, depending if the doctor's available to answer that. That can sometimes delay the process a little bit.
Okay.
But once you're set up with the producer and ready to go after that, then it's quite quick. It's generally between 2 and 7 days for delivery. So
nice.
Yes.
And is everything available for us to order? Can we, now that concentrates are allowed, or do any of these licensed producers offer any edibles or any other products yet?
Not yet, but they're working on it. Health Canada, after the Supreme Court ruling, sent their mandate down to the producers 2 weeks after the Supreme Court thing. So at that point in time, they started all getting into production for it, but they weren't originally set up for it. So a lot of them are scrambling right now to get this going. And I don't think it'll be edibles they're going to be doing. They're still not allowed to do that. What they are allowed to do is oils. So they're working towards that right now. So it's a process. And in the meantime, our weed chef is more than happy to help you. And we're hoping that does come available soon.
Me too. I think we all do.
Yeah, no, it's a good step. We need, now we need to start making some leaps.
Yes.
Well, again, like you say, you've got the process started here, and that's a big plus. Like I say, we haven't had anything in Calgary yet, so it's great to hear that you're open, you're up and running, and you're already helping people, not only in the Calgary area, but wherever they may be in Canada. That's pretty awesome. I love to hear it, and it's another step forward. It's right in the heart of Harper country, and it's a pleasure to have you guys here and to get things going in the province of Alberta.
Thank you.
We have been lacking it. Medical patients and people who are thinking that cannabis might be an option for them had absolutely nowhere to go as little as earlier this year. So again, kudos. That's amazing, awesome, and a great giant leap forward. Now that we've changed provincially from conservatives and in the ultimate conservative part of the world, we're starting to see change here, which is a really huge plus. And not only with the government, but with individuals such as yourselves that are willing to get out there and get the process started, and having to break down those barriers and those walls and force them to make decisions on licenses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The groundbreakers are always it's usually the toughest road. And let's just hope it gets easier from there for you and for anybody else who may want to venture into the same game and continue to move it forward. Yay! Let's get a different government in power. Anything but conservative, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be beneficial to our cause. So. Let's get out there and hopefully they do what they say they're going to do and open it up to the people.
And while I have this opportunity, I want to thank you, Kelly, because finding KDK to help us with products that we needed for our patients was awesome for us and good for our patients. And your staff's awesome and really helpful.
Great.
We just wanted to get this opportunity to thank you also.
No, thank you very much. It's when I first got in the industry and I had this wonderful vaporizer, and I just thought, this device is going to be incredible for the medical patient. And, I brought it back to Canada, and it was a very, very, very expensive vaporizer, way more money than they even are today. And I took it to the medical patients or the medical community here in Calgary. And you know what? I was right. The medical patients could benefit immensely from a quality vaporizer. But what I also found out when I first went there was that the vast majority of these patients could never dream to afford such a quality vaporizer. So I have worked with the medical community since day one, starting KDK, and I knew that once we had some success and stability in the industry, that that's where I would like to give back to the community, and so that's why we instituted the program of giving away a quality vaporizer to a medical patient somewhere in the world who couldn't possibly afford one, and so it's. I'm sure you feel the same, and I feel good about what I do, and it's awesome. It's great to come to work every day when you feel good about what you do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a great feeling.
And it's great for me to come to work every day because, it's a rough job I've got here. I got to talk about marijuana with my friends in the marijuana movement while we smoke marijuana, and then take a break to listen to marijuana music, and then listen to ads that promote the hemp industry and the marijuana movement, and then come back and talk about marijuana some more while we get high. And I can tell you, after an hour of that, I got to stop and smoke a joint, because seriously, that's I don't know. It's just not an easy road to hoe, but I do it. 8 hours sometimes. Oh my God. But with that said, it is time to wrap up this hour. I can't believe Father Time ticks so fast, but this is a good time to put a spotlight on your URL again, and Kelly, let people know one more time the address to write to get a hold of a free vaporizer if they need one. And we'll start with our joint guest first.
Well, thank you. You can contact us at the 420clinic.ca, and we'll help you as much as we can. And
Kelly?
Free vaporizer. Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. Just drop me a line. Love to hear from you. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to Casper. Everybody, you'll have a great day today.
Thank you.
And I want to let people know that we send special love to the Oregon governor for her efforts in the marijuana movement. She signed legislation this week that makes it possible for the medical marijuana dispensaries in the state of Oregon to begin selling recreational marijuana on October 1st.
Excellent.
Wow.
And you can go into any of those stores and buy up to 1 ounce. Thank you very much. Tax-free till the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, they'll figure out some tax structure. So you are able to enjoy not only your medical marijuana, but now recreational marijuana. And we figure ounces will probably be about $80 for some of the most primo herb you could ever want. So if you're looking for a place to relocate, start your life, build a new business, you might tell the states that are putting a lot of pressure on you to not smoke this, that you no longer need to live there because you found some place where you can actually take time for hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and spend some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 bales of oil. No need for pesticides to poison